Lewis, you've shot this car already.
Huh?
Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, Lewis is a big NSX fanboy. He wants an NSX so bad. So if any of you guys have an NSX that you want to sell for really, really cheap, Lewis will buy it and he will drive it and enjoy it. Budget is $3 for, maybe I'll pitch in $10 for that. But this one is not $3 or $4. This one is a lot more than that. It's really nice. We got the owner slash builder, Anthony, here. How are you?
Good, great. How you doing?
So we're actually at Genesis Automotive, Honda and Acura. We shot a couple of videos here. We actually shot a couple features of the cars that they're building here. But Jason actually does a lot of work on this thing, huh?
Yes, sir. He does all my maintenance, all my anything I need actually. Any suspension, exhaust, all my fluid changes, all my belts changes, everything. He does everything for me.
So this is, man, it looks so good just from here. It's just so, you essentially what you've done to this car, because this car, I was talking to Jason about this. The NSX was something that was groundbreaking when it first came out, right? It was like the Ferrari killer, right? It was like something that looked like this. It looked like a supercar, performed like a supercar, but you could drive it every day, and it was a Honda. You got the Honda reliability,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
But of course, in the US, it came as an Acura,
yes,
which is like the higher end brand for Honda. For a while, they actually went down in price a lot.
They did. It's just because I want to say people that are NSX fans, I mean, you had to be into Hondas before. So people that are into Lamborghinis, Ferraris, they're not buying an NSX because they don't want a Honda. So the people that owned, like myself, I owned a Honda Civic, I owned a Acura Integra. So the next thing in the evolution of my car buying is to buy the exotic Japanese car.
That's the top.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It, right?
Yeah.
That's the top. And this, you know, when they first came out, what generation is this one?
Well, this is the, they call it the NA2, so this one has the 6-speed transmission and the 3.2 liter motor. So this is the I want to say it's a little bit more desirable just because it has the bigger motor and the 6-speed tranny, but yeah, it just, this is the flip-up light one, so this is the one that I wanted. I wanted the original, you know, definitely wanted to keep it original. And it just, this is what I always wanted in the NSX. I always wanted a wide body. I always wanted it to be slammed and wide and, you know, just my...
So what year is this one particularly?
This is a 2001.
Okay, in 2001, how much was this car? Like almost 100,000?
I want to say, yeah, I want to say the sticker that I have, I think it's like 87.9 or something.
And now what's happened is it's turned around and now they're kind of back at the same level as they were brand new,
pretty
right?
much. It's pretty much worth about $90,000 if I was to probably put it back to stock and sell it, because having a wide body, it's personal preference, you know, just it probably wouldn't sell for as much.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the outside or just the body. What have you changed on the body to make it a wide body?
So pretty much almost every panel except for the doors has been changed. It has a full Marga Hills body kit, so the full front bumper, front fenders, side skirts, rear quarter panels, and the rear spats. The hood, everything is all Marga Hills, and just the Voltex wing. And then personal touches, stuff that I wanted to do to actually support people that I know in the game, which MFR, they make chassis mounted aero. And, you know, that's just added looks and, you know, downforce. I mean, it helps when you drive.
This is all functional.
That's all functional. It's all chassis mounted, so you can pretty much step on it and it won't detach. But
so this bumper is aftermarket too?
Yeah, the bumper is Marga Hills as well. So it just the splitters and my rear diffuser are from MFR.
So the only things that aren't changed are the door, and the headlight buckets.
Yeah, and my roof
and the roof. That's it. Everything else has changed.
Pretty much. That's another trunk that I actually purchased to have the wing put on, just so I can have my stock one available if I need it. But yeah, I mean, everything that I can take off, I pretty much took off. And the good thing about these cars is everything is, all the panels are interchangeable. So, you know, I didn't have to take this to a body shop to have them reform it, redo any of it. It all comes off. They bolt it on, and obviously, I mean, it wasn't that easy, but it took a lot of work to massage it to make it look like it does now. But as far as the ease of placing the kit on here, you know, you just remove your old panels and put these on, and
it looks incredible. Can you tell me about the paint?
So the paint, this is actually my stock color. This is Silverstone Metallic, which was offered in 2001. And the reason why I didn't go with a color change, because I did want it a different color, just because I didn't want the same color. But I didn't want to have to drop the motor and take off all the stuff in the inside. You know, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it right. I wanted everything painted. And at the time, I mean, I just wanted to enjoy the car, so I didn't want to have all that stuff taken out. And at the end of the day, the Silverstone, you really don't see them too much. So I was happy with keeping the stock color and just going with it. And
yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen one of these in this color in stock form. So I actually thought this was an aftermarket color. It looks great. Tell me about the wheel and tire combo, and also your brake combo too. These are some serious brakes.
Yeah, so the brakes are a StopTech kit that they make for the car. It's a 4-pot front and rear with a emergency brake, and I think they're like 345 millimeter.
Oh, the rotors.
The rotors, yeah.
345 millimeter rotors.
And then they offer in whatever colors you want to get. I just went with yellow just because everyone goes with red, so I wanted it to be a little different and go with that yellow. And then it kind of went on with the theme of the car, which the roll cage, I ended up going yellow and having some little yellow accents here and there just to tie it all together. But
yeah, speaking of just supporting kind of like the local brands, StopTech is in Southern California.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Tell me, like, how wide is this wheel setup compared to stock?
So they are their original pre-2000 Rays Volk TE 37s, and they are 1810 and a half in the rear. They're plus 15. So for a wide body, for an NSX, that's considered a wide body spec. But my front is 18.9 and a half plus 22. So there's no way you can get that on a stock body NSX. So, but the color of the wheels is kind of something that we came up with Jordan at Sensei 6 with. He actually, we kind of wanted to go with a bronze, and this is kind of like a hyper bronze. So it's a custom color, and it came out like that, and then they actually came out a lot better than I was hoping. And
it kind of is like a different take on the normal TE bronze that you see.
Yes, for sure.
But it has some kind of metallic in it.
For sure. I wanted it to be custom. I didn't want it to be the, just the stock color.
So this actually, is it on air?
I have a cup kit.
Oh,
it's
okay.
It's not on full air. So I have a cup kit just to get me over driveways, just because I tend to have my cars a little low. But yeah, the cup kit is only for the driveways and get me over stuff. I can't drive with it in the up position.
And so what suspension are you running on this?
So it currently has a BC coilovers with Swift springs, and then the stance part cup kit on top.
Ah.
Yeah, the tires I run are these are Toyo R888Rs. So this is definitely an aggressive tire for my canyon driving.
So tell me about the exhaust setup. This is crazy. Like, this is the thing that I don't think I've ever seen an NSX with this kind of exhaust setup.
Yeah, so what I tried to go with is the exhaust is a full titanium, and it's made by ARC, and the full exhaust weighs about 12 pounds, and how I wanted to create the rear of my car. I kind of wanted that to look like a picture window. I wanted the exhaust to be like the centerpiece of the rear of the car. So I have multiple ARC parts on the car that are very, very rare, very discontinued. They don't make any of that stuff, or hardly make any of the stuff anymore. So
I love the way this comes out from the kit. Like, I love how it kind of continues this, just this body line here.
yeah,
I think that looks great. I've never seen anything like this on NSX.
yes. So what I had done is that the kit actually is not stock like that. So in order to make it to the way I wanted it to look, the rear spats and my side skirts were actually molded into the rear quarter panels. So the body kit didn't look like that. It didn't look as nice and smooth and
I was wondering about that. Yeah, that looks great.
It was definitely the body shop, DTM Automotive in El Monte. They definitely took a lot of hours,
But like this line, it is so good too. The gaps are great.
they did the car for me. The car went to SEMA with the MFR booth, and it just, I wanted the car to look a certain way, and I didn't want it to have that kit. It just didn't look finished, and I wanted it to look smooth and I wanted it to look nice. I was building it as a show car at first, and it ended up, because of 2020, it ended up not being any shows. So now I just I drive it. I drive the hell out of it.
Yeah, and so this is a California thing, CHP 1199 Foundation. You drive this hard, but what you do for your day job, it's one of those things that I always talk about. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of police officers are big car guys, and they're into cars, and that's what you do for your 9 to 5. You're a police officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
But like this, you're just supporting the CHP Foundation.
That was I did that many years ago. In order to get those plates, you donate to the Fallen Officers Fund, and that's how you end up getting those plates. So a long time ago, that's what I did when I first started my career. I actually work for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, so definitely support all law enforcement. So CHP was definitely one of the foundations I supported, was for that fallen officers. But
yeah, so for us, we absolutely work with law enforcement all the time in terms of like doing our shoots, but also, a lot of the car guys and girls that we know are law enforcement officers, including one that I just featured maybe an hour ago across the street, Frank with his awesome Celica, but he's kind of part of the group with our buddy Rick, who has awesome Hakoska. But like, it's just like not so much that it's a small group. It's a small group that may be into these JDM cars. But in general, we know so many, and I've met so many, and I've made friends with so many officers that actually are into cars. They understand car culture, and they understand like the community aspect of it.
well, I mean, the bottom line is, I was just a normal kid growing up too, and I love JDM cars. I love doing this. I street raced as a kid, so I was into all that stuff, and it doesn't just go away. I mean, just because I am a police officer now, that's my job. That's not, that's something that I went into just because as a kid I always wanted to be a police officer. So that didn't take away my love for the cars and the car culture. So there's definitely a lot of police officers that are into cars. They're more into maybe their daily driver cars, so they'll get, some nice car, put some wheels on it, this and that. A lot of them don't go to this extent where, we build show cars, but there are a lot of us out there that do that too, and just, we love it.
Well, we definitely appreciate what you do, and I love the fact that you're into these kind of cars. Let's talk about the engine bay a little bit. If you can just pop this so we can take a look at it. So this is kind of the what you're saying about all the rare ARC parts.
So
huh?
the rare ARC parts are the intake plate. I mean, that took me over 2 years to find. The air box here is another rare piece. They come up once in a while for sale. ARC, the company is still in production, so I want to say they still make radiator caps. As far as the oil caps, I don't think they make those anymore, but I do have an ARC radiator as well, and I bought that brand new. So I mean, it's just weird. They make some products and some things they'll probably never make again. Like, for instance, that plate, and I don't think they make the exhaust anymore, any of that stuff, and I don't know if they're ever going to make it again.
But this really shows like the premium aspect that you're kind of going for with this build. All premium parts, all real parts, and I just love the theme. I love this. So this is all aftermarket, correct?
Yes, Studio RSR actually made the cage for me, and the problem I was having with the cage is there was no way, there's so little room in this car. The car is so small that we were trying to figure out a way to mount the cage in the car without, and having it stiffen the car. So it's actually attached to the engine brace. Those bolts go through and attach the cage to the engine brace.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
It actually is very functional, and it definitely stiffened up the car. So.
What else have you done to the engine area compartment?
So as far as the motor, internally it's stock. I just have bolt-on header, intake, exhaust. So yeah, as far as that, nothing hasn't been broken open yet. Not yet.
Okay, not yet. I like that. Is this aftermarket too?
It's aftermarket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we take a look at the interior?
For sure. So again, there's ARC parts that are, they made this again, the plates, they started selling them, the shift knob, and renowned the steering wheel that I put on there with the Works bell, removable.
I think the main complaint that a lot of auto journalists or people in general had about the NSX, even when this was brand new in 2001, was how old the interior felt, because it was 10 years old at that point, right? And pretty much nothing has changed since 1991.
The interior didn't change at all, I want to say. I want to say that the later years they did some perforation in the leather or something, but other than that, I mean, it pretty much stayed the same the whole run of the NSX. But again, it goes to, the people that are going to be into these cars are us, old Honda enthusiasts. So for me, it didn't matter. I mean, that's the reason why I own the car, because I love how old school it is and how old school it feels. So for me, that wasn't a problem at all.
I see what you mean about this cage. You actually didn't really lose that much space with putting it in, because the stock seats are actually really thick.
Yes,
right?
they are.
So you actually save some space with putting these Recaros in.
Yeah, they actually, everything fit perfect. I mean, it's there's very little bit of room in the back, and I mean, I don't need to adjust it at all. It's perfect for me, so.
I like it. Well, I love the theme that you've gone with it. This thing is just so cool. Is this fiberglass?
So yeah, this is a fiberglass hood. The duct there is definitely, well, the kit was actually created and raced on the GT NSXs in Japan. So this kit, the Marga Hills kit, they actually built it for that, and then obviously sold it.
But that's why it has that look. Like you see the GT cars, with this shape, and that's why, I guess that's probably what inspired them. Or that's what inspired you to put it on this car.
Yes, and another thing, the kit for me, it's a subtle kit. It doesn't take away the look of the original NSX. It's wider. It looks a little bit different, but you still see the lines of the NSX. It didn't completely change everything. So I wanted my NSX to be a wide body, just to have to be able to fit different wheels and tires underneath the fenders, and but I also wanted it to still look like an NSX. I didn't want it to look like a kit car. So, you know, the little custom things I did in here, ARC radiator, and I also had the dual spall fans. That was made by another NSX guy.
All of the carbon fiber down there.
The carbon fiber, yeah, that's made a guy, ATR, I believe, racing in Austria or Australia somewhere. But yeah, so they made that, and it's just aesthetically.
I just love the things that you're doing to it to update it, you know,
because it was a supercar of its era, but since then, you know, the newer supercars have so much more carbon fiber, so much more premium parts, and what you're doing is just updating it.
Yeah, and I also went like almost every single bolt that you can see, West Coast Fasteners. I ended up going to over to see that guy, and he went through my whole car. I changed almost every bolt that's visible in the front, the engine compartment, the interior, and my trunk. So it's just, that was a lot of work. That took a lot of hours, but it was the little touches that nobody sees is kind of what I was going for, the little attention to detail.
So, well, my favorite part of this car is the pop-up headlights. It's like probably one of the last ones in existence of a car that has pop-up headlights that actually, what you're essentially doing is you're changing the look of the car. You're transforming it just with a push of a button. And I think it just looks so good. The later ones, they're cool too, but nothing just beats the pop-up headlights on this.
Yeah, definitely. It's I wanted the pop-up headlights. I like the other fixed one just because it updates it a little bit. It does make it look a little more modern, but you know, that's not what I bought the car for. I bought the car for because I love the old school look. And also adding the Ganador mirrors. Those are very, very, very rare and hard to come by. Those things
they look good, especially painted body color.
Yeah, that took me some years to find as well. So a lot of my parts took a few years to find. So this is probably the third look that the car had, and this is pretty much the final look. This is what I always wanted it to look like. So
it is a Honda after all, and you know it's not a Honda until you have this crazy list of rare parts that you have to search the entire world for to kind of put together. I mean, as Jason eloquently put it, for every one of his cars, it's like, you know, I bought this car just for this thing, or I bought this junker just to take this piece off, just to put it on my car, you know, and that's like the true Honda thing.
That is it.
Can you start it so we can take so we can hear it? Wow, that startup, it's really aggressive.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good. It has high flow cats in it, so it's definitely a little quieter than it used to be, but it definitely has a little growl to it.
All right, here we go. So I've only driven the first generation NA1 NSX. Acura was nice enough to let me borrow their museum car out of the Honda Museum, and you know, I drove that around for a couple days, and I really had a chance to kind of experience what this car is about, which is not so much just raw power, it's just about the driving experience. Exactly. So this still doesn't have power steering, correct?
This one does.
Oh, this does?
Yeah.
Okay, so the newer one does.
The NA2 models definitely came with, yeah, so it's a lot easier. I know.
Oh, what a refined sound. So that's the difference. I've driven a stock one, and you can't really hear the exhaust at all. The only thing you can hear is the intake.
Well, this one, because, yeah, definitely because I have the titanium exhaust on it, it definitely, so nice. I mean, you could definitely hear it. It's the great sound.
It's so refined. It's like one of the best sounding V6s, I think. It sounds so good. I mean,
good sounding.
compared to like the VQs, unfortunately, like they're great motors, but they just don't sound that good.
Yeah.
You know, this is such a nice V6.
Yeah, they definitely. Well, I guess with the stock ones, I mean, like you said, that intake noise that they make. I mean, they made it so that was another enjoyable part of the drive was just listening to it because, man, just hearing that, and you could actually hear the VTEC kick in. And
Oh yeah. It was so defined. It wasn't like it was turbo lag or anything. It was just like it just was off, and then it just turns on all of a sudden, and then it just gets that much faster. Yeah.
So it's definitely a fun car to listen to. That's why I don't even listen to the radio when I'm in here. I pretty much just listen to the car. Since I only drive it on the weekends,
I love that it still has a tape deck.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things that I wanted to keep. Is I wanted to keep the car looking period correct or stock. I didn't want to change the radio out, and I didn't want to put a lot of people put the double din things in there, and I just didn't want to do any of that, and I wanted it to be. I just wanted it to look stock inside.
Yeah, it's of era. Like as soon as you put in like a double din screen or something, it kind of dates the rest of the car. Yeah.
For sure.
Wow. That thing sings. It sings so good. I just can't believe how good that sounds. Wow.
That intake noise is just.
It definitely sounds like a Honda.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Can you roll up your windows? I can. It really sounds like a Honda. It has like that really throaty intake sound.
Yes.
But so then the ARC, the airbox, it's actually a metal airbox.
So it's a metal airbox, and there's actually no bottom to it. So the filter is actually in the bottom, and I actually have the I want to say it's a downforce piece. It gives it a ram air effect. So I'm pretty sure that makes it a little bit louder.
Right, versus like a plastic stock airbox. Yeah. Incredible.
Stop, take brakes.
Yeah. So what are some of the other officers that you work with? What do they think about this car? Do they think you're crazy that you spent all this time and effort on this thing?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like I said, the people that I work with, I don't think anyone has fixed up a car to this extent. So it's definitely, I guess they wouldn't understand it. You have to be a real enthusiast to spend this much money on cars, but it just.
Yeah, but because like you said, at the end of the day, this is still a Honda. But it's a great Honda. It's a supercar in the truest sense.
Yes. And I mean, it drives. It's so reliable. I don't have to worry about maintenance and all this stuff that supercar owners have to worry about. I take it through the canyons, fill it back up with gas, and put it away and save it, for the next run.
Right, so that's the thing is a lot of people love to complain about the power on this thing. But honestly, I think it's more than enough to get you in trouble. That's the thing is it's easy to say nowadays, like, oh, I have whatever, Hellcat 707 or Demon 800 horsepower or whatever. Where are you going to use that?
Yeah.
Unless you go to the track all the time. We don't live in Germany, we can't drive on the Autobahn all the time. Yes. Where we can drive? We can drive in the canyons. We can drive around here on the local streets, and then you just rowing your own gears. It's so much fun.
That's the best part of it. This is unfortunately going away. Manual transmissions, and it's such a shame because it's so much fun. It's so much fun just to be able to go through your own gears, and unfortunately.
I'll be the first one to admit, I'm not the fastest driver, and for me, it's so much. I'm not going to break any lap records, that's the point. But just driving A to B, just your normal commute, and being able to row your own gears, short shifting, it's a lot of fun. Heel towing, all of that. Just the visceral, the fact that you're controlling pretty much everything.
Yes, that's what the younger generation will never understand that unless they get into the older Hondas, Honda Civics, Honda, you know, and Nissan, Toyotas, all that the same. As long as they get something like that, that stick shift, you know, they're never going to feel this.
I do have to say though, I really am appreciative that shops like Jason exist. With Genesis Auto, I'm glad that they exist, because one of the trends now, of course, is that so many of these older CRXs, Civic SIs, SIRs, Type Rs, they're getting imported from Japan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We need people like Jason to be able to work on them, to keep them on the
running.
road.
Keep them
and
running.
you see them, you know, you see them getting imported. They need some love. They need to be fixed up to live on.
Yes, and it's so nice to see them too, to see a right-hand drive here. And I mean, I know you have a right-hand drive car. I drove, actually today was the first day I drove a right-hand drive car, and it felt so weird.
But it felt special. Like, that's the thing, is it's like,
I can't wait to own one.
you're not going anywhere fast, but it's like exciting. That's the fun part of it. Yeah.
You want to drive it?
Sure. You don't have to ask me twice. Anthony's nice enough to let me drive his car, his baby.
Yeah.
Wow, this thing is so cool. I absolutely love these seats. So is this an ARC part too? Or?
So that's actually a Chasing J's.
Oh yeah.
So I actually have some of their parts as well. So
Yeah.
that, and I think I have one of the plates that covers the wires in the engine bay. So yeah, they
made my tow hook on my.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
These mirrors are actually pretty functional.
so because they're made for a right-hand drive car, you really can't see out of the passenger one. You can see kind of the blind spot.
Right.
But you can't see.
Right.
You can't actually see right behind.
Yeah, this one works pretty good though. Okay, so is this a stock clutch?
It's stock, yeah.
Okay.
So
That's why it's so easy to drive.
it definitely. I love how easy it is. Just
Oh my God, this is game changing. I
Feels
can't
good.
believe how tight it is. It feels
Yeah.
good, like the shifts. Oh wow.
yeah, I loved it when I put that in there. It was just
It's
just
so
the way that it
precise.
feels. Yeah, it just feels so good.
Man, this thing is awesome. Wow, the brakes are really, really good.
Yeah, I love the Stop Tech brakes. I haven't had any issues with it, and I've canyoned the car maybe about 8 or 9 times so far.
Oh my God. This is way faster than the NA1.
Definitely a difference. Yeah.
This is way faster.
Yeah, I've driven one NA1, and I couldn't believe how just slow it felt.
Well, part of it is that the gears are so long.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's 5-speed, and you can get you can pretty much drive around town just in first gear.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Wow. This
is.
It sounds so good. You know what's surprising? Sorry. It's surprising how different it sounds from sitting there, because I think the intake is just right here.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It sounds
right here.
completely different.
Yeah, so I mean the car's not super fast, but it's quick. I wouldn't say it's fast. I would say it's quick.
Yeah.
So
You could still get in trouble pretty easily in this thing.
I definitely think you can. I mean, I try not to go too crazy with it, but you know.
I love the analog gauges so much too. Like, it's so much fun just watching that needle climb all the way to 8,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it revs to 8,000, that's so awesome.
Huh. Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand, is the visceral feeling from driving a car like this of shifting your own gears, doing downshifts, you know.
And then just revving your motor. I mean, it sucks when you can't do that. When you have your, you know, your PDK or whatever the transmissions they call them these days, but it's just, people are just missing out.
Yeah. This actually, surprisingly, I mean, I'm sure a lot of NSX owners, they have a lot of miles on their car. Yeah. This one's pretty low miles.
Yeah, I actually bought it with 40,000 miles on it. And I put almost 10,000 miles in about 4.5 years that I've owned it. And not from lack of driving it. I mean, it's just, the car was in the shop, you know, a lot, getting different stuff done, and we can turn here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's not that I didn't like to drive it, it's just, I drive it on the weekends, I drive it as much as I can. I usually do, you know, a lot of cars and coffees. I do a lot of, I'll do canyon runs if I have some friends that want to go up and do some stuff.
So I noticed, the cool thing about this versus the NA1 is that when you're actually moving, oh, that's the lift.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's good. You can go.
Okay. When you're actually moving, the steering feels really good, very connected and very heavy, just like the NA1 because it's no power steering.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop, that's when you're actually doing like parking.
Yeah, it helps out a lot.
That's when it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So like right now, it's actually pretty stiff. And then as soon as I stop, it's almost like I could just use my finger to turn the wheel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it feels good.
That's good.
You can just pull in right there.
Cool.
So my steering rack is actually going out, so you can hear the, you can hear that.
Oh. So it is air.
So, well, it's a cup kit. So I put it up because I knew we were going to go up the driveway, so I just left it up. And then, but when you're driving it and it's in the up position, it's so bouncy just because, you know, they're little bags, they're helper bags basically is what it is. So the bags are so small that it's not meant to hold the weight of the car for long periods of time. It's only made for, you know, just driveway stuff. And so yeah, it helps. I mean, it helps a lot because there's no way I would have made it up or you would have made it up that driveway without scraping and, you know, hitting the fenders and all that stuff. So
well, thank you again so much for letting us feature this thing. It's so cool that you're updating this. You're kind of modernizing this supercar, and we need more like this. You know, we need more people to make something special out of this. I mean, that's the thing is this NSX, it could have just been a stock one, and it could have just been just kept stock, or you could have just driven it stock. But for me, you've made something extraordinary out of it, something special.
Thank you.
That's your own vision.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your service. For sure, 100%. Like,
I appreciate it.
big shout out to the law enforcement for just really. I'm sure with cars, same thing. It's like a passion. You have to love what you're doing to do it, because it's unfortunately it's a thankless job a lot of times, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
I feel for you guys. I feel for you guys.
It's a tough time.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully things will get a little bit better, but it is a tough time right now. At the end of the day, you know, we're just normal people, just like everybody else. We have our families that we want to go home to, and you know, and we're into cars.
Yeah, cars like this. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely support us. If you guys like this channel, check out LarryChenPrints.com, where I will give these out to every single print that I sell. I sign them, I print them myself. Oh, actually, you need to have some. I need to give some to you.
Awesome.
Here. You don't have to put it on your car. I want you to put them on a toolbox or something or whatever. But
sure,
enjoy them. It's just a cartoon of me. It's like an anime character of me.
That's awesome. It looks just like you.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys like what we're doing on Hoonigan Autofocus, definitely check out LarryChenPrints.com for, I guess, some of my most iconic photos that I've turned into art prints. I print them all in-house on my Canon large format printer. I sign each one of them. So yeah, if you guys support us, we'll keep shooting these episodes. Thank you so much.